Hey, welcome back to the channel, and we are back with another weekly wears video where I go over every single fragrance that I wore for all 7 days last week. So if that is content that you want to see more of, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel. We are on our way to 13,000 subscribers. We are so close. So if you like what you see today, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe. Let's jump right into the list, starting with Sunday. I live in in and around the Boston area. I grew up here. Boston is home for me, and on Sunday, it was St. Patty's Day. Big celebration in South Boston, the city of Boston. I didn't go to the parade, but I want to say it's the oldest parade and also the first city to actually celebrate St. Patrick's Day across the country. The fragrance I went with, I mean, it was almost a foregone conclusion I was going to choose this one. Scent we are talking about is Creed's Green Irish Tweed. Amazing, amazing, amazing fragrance. I did a video on this one, basically letting you guys know if it's still worth it to buy. So you should definitely go check out that video because I get into really in-depth sort of analysis of this scent. But spoiler alert, it's worth it and I love it. That first spray in the air, as soon as you get a whiff of this, the quality here is so exceptional. It is so unlike any other fragrance in my collection. There's a nostalgic feel to this scent, and not for the reasons that you might think. I never smelled this on someone when I was younger that I know of, but it does remind me a little bit of Cool Water. Now, they are light years apart in terms of the quality and the overall refinement of the scent. But I grew up wearing Cool Water in the 90s, mid-90s, late 90s. It was a super popular fragrance. A lot of guys wore it. A lot of guys my age wore it. So I have a lot of scent association with that scent. That being said, this is a much more elevated, upscale, refined, put together, classy version of my memory of that scent. And I'm so happy to have this in the collection. I'm blessed to be able to have this in the collection. My wife actually bought this for me as a Father's Day gift from her and my girls. So I cherish this one. I think it's amazing to this day. Grassy, green, aromatic, a little bit citrusy, fresh, woody. It's the perfect scent. This is a true masterpiece. Lives up to every bit of the hype that has been surrounding this fragrance. Love it. Creed's Green Irish Tweed. Really quickly, guys, before we get into the next fragrance, if you decide that you want to try any of these fragrances, I will link them all down below in the description. I do get a small commission. If you guys decide to use my links, you don't have to. But if you do, thank you. It helps out the channel greatly. Monday, I reached for this scent that I added to the collection not too long ago, but it was one that had been on my radar for a very long time. I had already smelled it, and I knew I eventually wanted to add it. And just this really great deal came up on Macy's, and I couldn't pass it up. Scent we are talking about is Azzaro's Wanted by Night. So Azzaro Wanted by Night, this is my favorite in the line. It has the most balanced sweetness of any of the Wanted fragrances, and it has this fruity, cinnamony, warm spice sweetness. But for me, it's a little bit more put together, and it's not as youthful as, say, something like the Most Wanted. This is my favorite one, as I said in the line, because the Most Wanted reminds me of other things. That's a good scent. Don't get me wrong. I think the scent is fantastic, but it reminds me of other fragrances that I own. This is very unique. There's a reason why for a very long time, this is one of the most recommended date night fragrances, and I still think it can fit that role perfectly. It's going to be for a guy who doesn't like overly sweet fragrances, but it is still casual in how it comes across. It does have some, as I said, really well-balanced sweetness that I think a lot of guys are going to like and enjoy. And it's a departure, really, from how fragrances have become kind of bubblegummy sweet in more recent years and kind of the norm. This is almost a little bit dated in that sense, but it doesn't smell dated, so that might be the wrong word. I really enjoy this one, and I think it's perfect for casual settings, going out, having drinks with friends, going to dinner with your significant other. It's going to work beautifully for situations like that. Obviously, cold the weather, yes, it's going to be ideal, but this has a freshness to it that really balances out those warm, sweet notes and the cinnamon here. So love that about this one, that combination of fresh and sweet. You can never miss with it. Really good performance, really performs well. It's a loud fragrance initially, and then it sort of tapers off into this amazing, woody, elegant, warm, spicy, great fragrance, Azzaro Wanted by Night. This next one is without question my favorite Elixir release, and I will be honest, I have not been impressed with many of the Elixir flankers that all of these designers have started to come out with. They've been a little bit disappointing for me and sort of a money grab, for lack of a better term, but not this one. This is the best one that I've smelled, and I absolutely love it. Scent we are talking about is Boss Bottled Elixir. Guys, if you have not smelled this, you need to. If you know already how good this stuff is. Cardamom, incense, patchouli, wow, in the air, 10 out of 10. Has that sweet sort of licorice feel to it. It's amazing stuff. And I find myself wanting to wear this pretty much every day. There are more hyped, more talked about Elixir fragrances that aren't as good as this one. Ambery warm spice while still, again, having that freshness. Performance is above average and quality is above average. Maybe some of the best quality from Boss ever, from the entire line of fragrances that they offer. There is just immediately upon first spray, you're going to notice that quality was paid attention to here. So amazing fragrance. If you have not tried it yet, you really need to. This is going to work in a lot of situations. I think you can wear this in the warmer months, the cooler months. That freshness lends itself to year-round type fragrance. So amazing scent and masculine put together. Just checks all the boxes. You're going to love this one. Boss Bottled Elixir. I think all the fragrances that I'm talking about today have some uniqueness to them, and they stand out from all the other fragrances in my collection. They don't really smell like anything else. They don't really remind you of anything else. But I would say this next one is more so than all of them in terms of the unique factor. Scent we are talking about is LSolo Platinum. You have leather, tea, spice. This reminds me, great atomizer. This reminds me of if I were sipping a tea in a really swanky lounge, leather furniture, wood accents. Loewe, I've been super impressed with this house. I have a bunch of fragrances from them at this point, and they have not let me down yet. This is no exception. And this one never gets talked about. I truly have never seen, I don't think I've ever seen a review on this. So I might be one of the only people actually talking about this scent. It's really affordable. I got it for a great price, at least it was when I picked it up. So I'm going to try to find it for a good price and link it. This stuff is amazing. I think it's great for like a summer night out, date night, that type of thing. But it does have some versatility to it as well. There is something, as unique as it is, mass appealing about it as well. There may be some ambroxan in here. It's a little bit peppery, a little bit sweet. Although I do have to be in a certain mood to want to throw this one on. Every time I put it on, I'm happy I did. LSolo Platinum. So last week, I went with the OG of this particular fragrance. This is a flanker of that. And if you can tell by the sound, you already know what it is. Scent we are talking about is Spice Bomb Infrared from Victor and Rolf. Now, for a long time, this has reminded me of like Christmas, and I did wear it one Christmas, last Christmas, I want to say, or 2 years ago. And, oh man, warm, spicy, sweet, cinnamony, and a little bit of tobacco with an underlying cleanliness, lavender. It's clean smelling. It's a little bit fresh. This is really kind of all over the place in terms of scent profile, but it balances it really well. It doesn't smell chaotic. It's put together. It's refined. And there was a commenter that got a little butthurt that I had said in my last video that the OG is a more refined scent than Extreme, which I mean, I think a lot of you guys would agree. It just is. I mean, there's not a lot of extreme versions of fragrances that are more refined than the original. It's purposefully done that way. It's supposed to be a little bit of an edgier fragrance, a little more in your face, which is the opposite of refinement. But that's neither here nor there. He has his opinion. That's totally fine. I just disagree. And this, again, I think is more refined than the Extreme. It's probably not as refined as the OG is, because that's a really well-balanced scent and kind of a perfect scent. This one, I think, is right there. It's subtle. It doesn't do anything too much. The Extreme version is very vanilla heavy. It's tobacco heavy. It does a couple things to the nth degree, where this, much like the OG, is just more balanced in terms of note breakdown and profile and versatility, where you can wear it, how often you can wear it, in what situation. So this fits that role. I want to try to wear this a little bit more in the warmer months, because I think it might be something a little different, but be dynamic in a sense and really be interesting in the warmer weather. I'm definitely going to be doing that. I get great performance here. It doesn't project like a monster, but it lasts a really long time on my clothes. Spice Bomb Infrared from Victor and Rolf. If you guys haven't watched my most recent rack store video, be sure to check it out at the end of this video. This is my grab. This is what I picked up, and I like this one way more than I was expecting. Scent we were talking about is Salvatore Ferragamo's Bright Leather. And I paid around $50 for this, which is a really great price from Marshall's. And great atomizer on this as well. Lots of bright citrus. You need to go check out my first impressions of this, because I was surprised by the opening here about how fresh it was, how citrusy it was, how authentic it came across in the air and off of my skin. But what really grew on me here was the dry down. Now, in that video, I said I probably wasn't going to get a lot of longevity. However, I was surprised by the longevity. With as fresh as this is and authentic smelling it is, I was expecting it maybe to only last 3 or 4 hours, where I will say that projection was best in the first hour. It did pop off of the skin a little better. Obviously, the first couple of hours, as most fragrances do. But what I really liked about it was the deep dry down, and it lasted a long time on my skin as a skin scent. So it was really close to the skin, but it was there. I could still smell it, and it smelled amazing. I know a lot of you guys had mentioned in the comments of that video, spicy leather as being one of your favorites. This impressed me. So this is kind of the gateway, I think, for me, and definitely going to be trying some of those others. But really good scent overall. I was very pleased with the performance. I think it's worth the $50, maybe even a little bit more. I think you're getting a high quality Ferragamo fragrance. This is some of their best quality, much like the Boss fragrance that I mentioned earlier. This is some of the best quality that I've smelled from Ferragamo, hands down. Great scent. Definitely keep an eye out for this one when you're in your rack stores, because I think this one's a hidden gem. Ferragamo's Bright Leather. Finally, on Saturday, I was going to grab some dinner with a couple friends, and Saturday night, it was pouring out, and I wanted to wear something that I haven't worn in a while, and I was like, why haven't I reached for that in a while? Because I love it. Perfect night to do it. Scent we are talking about is Parfums de Marly's Dolphin. This is my favorite leather fragrance, okay? My wife loves this one. She wears it from time to time. I would say it's definitely unisex. It's going to remind you of things like Tuscan leather and ombre leather. However, I enjoy this one far more. And the reason for that is because it is not as refined as those fragrances. Those fragrances do leather really well. This has a little bit more depth. The leather's a little bit edgier. It's a little bit more animalic, which I really like. And if I'm wearing a leather fragrance, I want to grab attention with it. I want it to smell like leather. I want to make it almost as like I'm wearing a leather jacket. There's almost a petrol feel to this, and I don't know where that's coming from, but I like it. Performance, beast, lasts forever on clothes, really great projector. Man, one of the best leather fragrances you can buy. I love this stuff. Parfums de Marly's Dolphin. That's all I have today, guys. As always, let me know in the comment section down below what your weekly rotation was, whether you wore 10 or just 1. Drop it in the comment section down below. I always love hearing what you guys are wearing. If you like what you saw today, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Hit that bell notification so you are updated whenever I upload new content. But until then, have a fantastic week, and I'll see you in the next video.